right now is 2:42 p.m. 2:42 p.m. You guys heard that right. 2:42 p.m. 2:43 p.m. Thursday, February 19th, 2026. We're starting a little bit earlier today just to see the rates in the city. Look at that, straight shit. Boom, decline. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, I do try in the daytimes, and it's no better than, you know, the night times or whatever, you know. But there's a whole lot of traffic out here, so if you like to be in stop and go traffic or whatever, and, you know, see people's bumpers and read people's license plates, then yeah, this is definitely the time for you to be out, you know, to just play around and, you know, look at people's bumpers and stuff. But, you know, that was straight shit right there. But yeah, you know, if that's what you like to do, and just read people's license plates, if that's fun to you, then yeah, this is definitely the time for you to come outside and play. But for me, I actually want to make some money. But, you know, I just want to show you guys that there is no money during the daytimes, and the people that drive during the daytimes, you know, I don't know how you guys do it, but you guys maybe make it somehow, but I don't know how, you know. But again, not everybody's screen is going to show the same numbers. Not everybody's screen is going to show the same offers, the same amount of offers. You know, sometimes you gotta, what's it called? What do you call it? You gotta be a teacher's pet, or you gotta simp for the apps, you know? You gotta accept every low-balling order like a good boy, you know? Just like a good boy, you know? You gotta simp for the apps, you know? And then they might just give you a bone, maybe even a milk bone at that, something sweet, like a sweet treat. And then they're back to straight scraps, you know, where you're eating not even kibble flavored. It's just scraps from like the last week ago that's got dust in it. Yeah, they'll just straight shit on you after they give you that milk bone. That's my basic point. But yeah, you gotta be a good boy for that. Yeah, as you guys can see, I'm in Midtown right now again. The only city that I can usually make the money in any time of the day, a lot of the times. But then it's just straight shit, you know. So, but you know, it is what it is. It seems. There's nothing happening on Scroober, even though it's saying that it's busy. Also on here, it's showing that it's supposedly busy, but you know, as you guys see, I don't have any offers across my screen. So how can it be busy with nothing? How can it be busy doing nothing? That doesn't make any sense. You know, so it really does not make any sense. So we're gonna do a little drive around or whatever, to go around the city, to see if any offers do pick up. But usually I already know what the fuck is going on around this time of the day. This is why I don't drive during this time of the day. But for content purposes, this is what we do. Decline. Yeah, it's offers like that I just get all day, almost every day. And you guys get to see me make some of my money, but that's only during the night times or the evening times. Straight shit. Who's gonna do that with all the traffic around here? Plus, I don't even do shit for $4 for anything. Like $5 for 8-9 miles. Who's gonna do that? Who's going to do that, buddy? Who's gonna do that? $8 for 3 miles. Not in this traffic, buddy. You guys are gonna have to pay a little bit more than the daytimes. Not during this traffic. That was a nice rate, $2 a mile. But, you know, not during this traffic right now. Not at all. No sir, Durskis. You know, we don't work for these low rates during the traffic times. Even though $2 a mile is not a low rate, but it has to be paid a little bit more than that at these times because of all the traffic. I don't like the extra traffic, the wait times, the extra freaking risks that you have to take during traffic times because people don't know how to drive, which means that you're more likely to get into an accident. So you're gonna have to pay me a little bit more to drive my car, buddy. Unless you just want another driver to, go and take it. Which I'm more than happy to say, if they want the money, they can go get the money. Go on ahead. It does not hurt me at all, So we're gonna go that way. Yeah, it does not hurt me at all. If another driver wants to eat, go on ahead. Not want it unless it is paying me a nice amount. Up the brightness here because it keeps on shut down. I don't know why. There's so much freaking traffic out here. Like I said, I don't even understand how people are even making money during the daytimes. Like, if you want to make maybe some pocket money or whatever, you need some gas, you want to buy some snacks or whatever or something like that. Maybe the daytime is cool. You can like supplement a part of your day in the daytime, like I said, for gas or chips or something like that, some snacks to, put you into the nighttime. But other than that, in the city, out here, like, working it during the daytimes is not really the go-to, So, that's why I work during the nighttime. But I'm doing this for content purposes. Just to show you guys how really, really slow it is and how low the rates are. Even though they're low during the night times, but they're even worse during the daytimes. Who is going to do that? 2 people. That's what I was talking about before. How do you only get 2 people to only be paying $6.58 to still go 8 miles? 2 people. It can't even equal $1 a mile for 1 person. How do you get to? No, we're not doing this. $4 for 0.9 of a mile. You're gonna have to walk. If you're that close to where your order is, bro, you need to walk there. I'm sorry, but you need to walk there or something. We need to get some exercise. Put in some, motion in the ocean with these legs or something. Because there's no way that you're trying to possibly pay someone to go that short of a mile to deliver your order. I get it. It's a mile of a walk. Maybe you don't want to do it, but that's just crazy, bro. Trash. That's just crazy. And then plus we're in the city, so we can get on scooters. We get to turn to a young scooter. And get on some scooters and pick up your order like that. Like I said, there's no way that you're trying to only pay $4 for me to pick up your order in heavy traffic, and then you're that close to your order anyway. I'm just like, why even order in the first place? Sometimes, why even place the order if you're that close? No, I'm not doing that. There's too much heavy traffic. I'm not doing that. That's too low paying. Apps, bro. And sometimes I wonder, like, why do the apps even allow that? Especially knowing that they're only gonna give the driver a little bit of money. It's just, why do they even allow that? I said, or better yet, just like how I was saying before, get a robot to do it. Get a robot. If somehow the restaurant is connected with these like little robots that drive around the city and stuff like that, get a robot to drive your order. If it's that close, get a robot to do it. You know, Waymos don't deliver orders yet or whatever, from what I understand. But you know, once you know the cars start, you know, actually delivering orders or whatever, then you'll have the most convenience like that. You know, like I said, you don't even have to. This is garbage, straight up garbage. Who in the world is gonna take a Sephora order for 21 miles for $6, bro? You might as well. Never mind, bro. Just. Anyway, like I said, when the companies decide to make it available that the robots, like, well, the Waymos or whatever, can deliver your order in the cars, that would be the best benefit of a lot of you guys ordering. Okay, $9 for a mile. That's fine. We can do that. That's what I'm saying. This is what we can do right here. We can do this. So we will do this order right here, this package order, and then we'll get on with our day. Okay. So the time right now is 3:16 p.m. and it's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. I just finished dropping off that package order. It was pretty simple. Not much to it, just a lot of just kind of calling back and forth with my customer because I had to coordinate with the areas that I could be in or whatever. There's a lot of areas in the city that you kind of can't park in or whatever. So I had to like contact my customers multiple times or whatever to kind of let them know where I was parked at. But a lot of times, you know, sometimes it's hard to do that with customers, specifically certain ones that I've been dealing with a lot of the time for whatever reason. I don't know why. But, you know, we got the job done. It was pretty simple, pretty easy, $9 or whatever. And, you know, we're not going to complain. We made the money. We don't have to probably deal with the customers ever again. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, now we're back to business on seeing where the other money is, which I don't know where it is. I hope it shows its face, and pretty soon, because it's getting very annoying to me that Chick-fil-A for $5 for 1 mile. Where is this Chick-fil-A at? Oh, no, this is very congested right there. Oh no, buddy. I don't know what it is with like people only paying $5 and $4 and $3 and $2 and stuff, you know, like during the heavy traffic times. I don't like this. What I'm talking about, like $4 going 2.5 miles. Like, what is it with these customers that are paying these types of weird prices? I don't understand what that is. Like during the heavy traffic times, knowing that the traffic is heavy, knowing that, you know, we're in the most riskiest times of driving, like, how are we paying this amount of money, you know, to work? You know, like, how does this work? I don't understand that. Please explain that to me in layman's terms, of breaking it down to me like I'm a 5th grader or a 2nd grader or something. Because, like I said, I don't understand. You know, I really don't understand. I just need that formula to be broken down to me to where I can understand. So I know that it's still shit. You know, I'm still being sold shit, and they're trying to serve it up to me like it's a cake. Like, no, that's a shitty cake. I know what it is. I smell it. I see it. I decline respectfully. You know, so you're not gonna make me eat shit and try to disguise it in a suit and act like it's a cake, a chocolate fucking deviled cake. No, we're not doing it at all. You're not gonna sell me shit, buddy. You're not gonna sell me shit. I don't care how good it looks. You're not gonna sell it to me because I can smell it and see it. So yeah. So we're gonna go back, I guess, into the city, into a different part of the city or whatever. Like I said, we're gonna do a little bit of driving, You guys are gonna see how kind of shitty it is during the daytime, which I've done before on my previous videos years ago, but you know, there's not really much that's changed from years ago. So, you know, but you know, you gotta make your money somehow, you know, so. But I'm just showing, you know, possibly all the people that haven't watched my videos from years ago that, you know, it's still the same shit, just a different day. You know, it doesn't matter what area you drive in, what time you drive in, it doesn't really matter at all. You're still gonna get sold shit, you know, so you just gotta try your best to see it for what it is or not see it for what it is. However you decide to, you know, intake the situation. But, you know, like I said, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Unfortunately, you know, in these times, these trying times, because they will definitely try you, buddy. They will definitely try you. Especially as you guys can see on these apps, they definitely will try their best to put you on edge. And whatever that they can do to take you off. We're not doing that, buddy. We're not doing that. $7 for 5 miles, that's just way too far. Like, it's just way too far. I don't understand. Way too far, bro. No, we need to pay a little bit more. Especially during these rush hour heavy traffic times, bro. We need to pay a little bit more. Like I said, the people that decide that they feel like, you know, some of these orders that I'm declining are worth their time, like I said, I'd be more than happy to give it to you. That's why I decline them. I'd be more than happy to help you out. If it's really helping you out, okay, I declined it just for you so it can help you out, you know. If you want to serve those customers, go ahead and serve those customers. And like I said, serve the customers to the best of your ability, you know. Treat them really well, and maybe you might get a tip, but like I said, that's highly unlikely. Nobody, and then if they say that they're tipping in cash, they're lying to you for sure. They're for sure lying to you. There's so many orders I've delivered where they said that they give you a cash tip at the door on an order that's kind of low paying but still enough to kind of do, and they said they'll give you an extra cash tip, but I said they don't do that at all. They're lying to you. That's just baiting you even more. They're just baiting you even more. You know, like I said, it's just lies. And you would have to be too new to the game to not know that at all yet, to not understand that that's what they're doing, that they're lying to you. You know, but you'll figure that out along the way, that the customers that tell you that they're going to give you a cash tip when you get to the door, just know that you're going to get a possible thank you, I appreciate you, you know, with a possible fake smile, and then they're going to close the door in your face, you know, and that's it. You're not going to get a cash tip, you know, so. But yeah, other than that, yeah, that's just what I definitely want to voice to you guys. That's what's going to happen to you if you feel as though that you're going to get a cash tip, because you're possibly not. I've done too many orders to know that. But like I said, if the orders I'm declining are worth y'all's time, you know, and you feel like that's worth some money to you guys, go on ahead. I 100%, you know, appreciate y'all's contributions to the efforts, you know, to the goal, to the mission. I appreciate y'all's efforts to the mission. You guys can complete y'all's mission or whatever, and you know, get y'all's money or whatever. Like I said, I think that the money that I'm declining is not worth my time at all. But you know, you guys can do that. Doesn't bother me at all. We all work together here. We're all here to make the world go round, right? That's what we do. Right? Help the world go round. We're gonna make this U-turn turn. We're gonna make this other U-turn turn. We're gonna go back that way, back into the city where things are pretty shitty. Okay. And there's still nothing on Scroober, of course, even though it's in as busy. This is the new, I think this is the new what do you call it? When we used to get what was it called? Like the blue zones, like years ago, that we haven't ever seen in years. What do you call them? Boost or whatever. What do we used to call them? I really, like I said, it's been years since I've even seen that. It's specific zones, like how DoorDash has or whatever they call them, like, you know, peaks and stuff like that. It's like peak pay or whatever, peak zones or whatever, you know, blah blah. And then Uber used to have like the blue zones or whatever. I think they was called Boost or something. I forgot, man. It's been years, like I said, since they've even shown up. But what I was trying to say is that I think that this orange and all this light up here is supposed to be the new boost zones or whatever. So, you know, this is supposed to get us excited and thinking that there is money out here. But as you guys can see on my screen, there is no money out here. And if there is money out here that, you know, I've been showing you guys, it's trash money to me. You know, like I said, because like I said, I'm driving during the afternoon times where, you know, it's peak traffic times. These are peak traffic times in Atlanta. If you guys live here in Atlanta, you guys will know that. But these are peak traffic times. These are not the best times to be, you know, doing the worst amount of orders in or whatever and stuff, and feeling like, you know, you're doing a good just cause, you know, just for doing the orders. Nope, we're not doing that. But like I said, if you feel as though that some of these orders are worth your time, then, you know, going ahead. Some of these places paid a lot more too, so there is a standard of like what I will accept and what I won't accept, because I know that the people that would normally be ordering from these places could definitely pay more to get their stuff delivered, you know, if they really did care for their stuff. This is a no-no. This is shopping for 2 customers for 16. What is this? No, we're not doing that. No, this is just way too low paying. $10 for 2 customers. No, I'm sorry. No, I can do that for like maybe $20, bro, for 2 customers, bro. They each pay $10, bro, and we can make $20 on that. But no, I'm not shopping for $10 for 2 customers, buddy. I'm not $5 between 2 customers, and that's if, like I said, in a perfect world where they would split the order evenly, like in a perfect world where both customers might have paid $5, you know, between both orders, you know, that to me is still not enough for shopping for, like I said, for one person. I don't do orders for $5 anyway. But in a perfect world, both customers would pay around $5. But in an imperfect world, which is what we live in, imperfect, one customer probably paid, you know, $6 or $8, and one customer might have paid $2. You know, I've seen how some orders are literally laid out like that, where literally one customer is carrying one of the other customers, and that's how they group the orders together. And that's why I said I barely ever do grouped orders, because that's how they lay them out. Literally one customer is carrying the other, and that's how both orders get taken care of, because one customer paid for the other customer, and the one other customer's order has been sitting there possibly for the longest time and nobody's accepted it. So like I said, they group them together so it can finally go out. Like I said, and you never know which customer is actually paying the amount until you kind of you know, decline one of the orders or whatever, and then they show you your new total or whatever. But other than that, you know, you don't know until, you know, they show you, you know, after the fact, or maybe after the fact that, you know, you complete the task, and then you're on the delivery to, you know, deliver the orders, and then it shows you what customer paid what or whatever. This is straight shit right here. I don't work for $4, buddy. You have to pay a little bit more. Like I said, some of these customers, some of them, it seems as though like they just don't respect your time at all. They don't see that, you know, all these things take time, and that you actually have to take time to find the stuff in the store. And if they don't have the stuff in the store, you have to communicate with them and let them know that, hey, there is none of this in the store. What other items would you like? That takes time. And that's, like I said, if the customer wants to pick up the phone, if the customer wants to answer the messages or whatever. And yes, you can refund the items, from the customer. But unfortunately, whenever you do that, you're risking the fact of, you're probably not going to get that tip no more, especially on Uber or whatever. And in Uber, for sure, they decrease chopped salad. We could probably do that if they even give me this order right here. If they even give me that. But a lot of times, especially on Uber, if you are missing certain items in the store, like it's not your fault or whatever, and, the store just does not have that item or whatever, you're actually risking the fact of losing money or whatever. They decrease the amount of money from the item that's missing from your total, and I've had that happen to me way too many times. I'm like, that's why sometimes I hate doing the Uber shop orders or whatever. I try my best to try to substitute it for another item, because they're gonna wind up taking money from me because of the fact that the merchant, the store, didn't have the item there for the customer. And also and it doesn't matter, even if the customer wants to refund or whatever, Uber is still going to subtract a certain amount from that order, because the customer didn't find, as a driver, didn't find all the items on the order or whatever, bro. It'd be stupid stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I don't understand what it is with the money haggling, just taking money from other people. I couldn't find the item because the store didn't have the item. How are you gonna make me try to find the item, and then the customer didn't want a substitution? So how are you gonna still take money from me because of the fact that, I don't know, man. These apps have weird ass metrics or whatever, and they want you to meet certain deadlines or certain things or whatever to get all items. And I'm just like, bro, if the customer does not want anything, they just don't want anything. How are you gonna still take money from me if they still don't want anything? The customer didn't change the tip or whatever. A lot of times, like I said, it's the fact that they take money. Uber system literally takes the money away from you. It doesn't matter. Like I said, just try it out for yourself. Try it out for you guys yourselves. You guys will see what I'm talking about. If you're, or maybe you guys have already noticed it, that if you're doing a shop and pay order on Uber Eats or whatever, you're doing a shop and pay order, and you're finishing out the order, you know that the customer doesn't want a substitution, or the customer didn't get back to you with a substitution, so you decide to remove the order to give the customer a refund. After you complete delivering that order or whatever, you'll figure out that, oh wow, look, it said that the customer decreased the tip from the original amount that you were supposed to get. And I was like, what? You'll be like, what? And then you're like, no, there's no way to decrease the tip. And sometimes it's not even by much or whatever. It's by a couple of cents or whatever or something like that. I'm like, there's no way that a customer is decreasing the tip by a few cents or whatever every time. And this is every time. Every time you, literally, mark my words, every time you get an order on Uber Eats where you're missing an item or whatever, and after you finish delivering that order, every time you're going to see that, it's gonna say the customer has decreased the tip every single time. So like I said, it's not even the fact that the customer is decreasing the tip. Uber is shaving money yet again off the top of whatever you get as the driver. They're trying to finagle any way that they can to take money from the drivers. I don't understand what it is with that, but that's what they do, right? It's really sad, but I guess it is what it is. That's the game that they like to play. That's the America. Welcome to America. This is America, right? Welcome to it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this order, and I'll get back to you guys later. Alright, so the time right now is 3:56 p.m. and it's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. I just finished that chopped order. It's pretty simple, nothing much to it. $7 for 2.5 miles. Like I said, it's pretty simple. And those are the short distances that I like to have, to be paying those amounts of monies, because that actually makes sense in my book. So that's trash right there. $5 for 11 miles. That's straight garbage. I would never accept that in my life. Oh, now you're talking. Now you are talking some Monties. But okay, so I finally got something that's actually paying me a decent amount now. But I actually have an Amazon trip here in Atlanta at the what's it called, the Midtown Whole Foods out here. I have that at 5 p.m. It's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and then I have another food delivery with like the Amazon Fresh locations or whatever, or Amazon Now locations, whatever you want to call it. It's like UGA2. Like I said, those food delivery locations, I have delivery with them at like 8 p.m. or something like that. So after I'm done with the Amazon at Whole Foods, I'm possibly gonna be not able to do anything else other than go to that Amazon location to deliver for them. And yeah, that's how my day is gonna go, supposedly. And hopefully it's pretty simple, hopefully it's pretty easy, and yeah, hopefully, so I almost forgot to do one thing: track my miles, because I definitely need that for my taxes, because who likes to pay the government, right? Not me. But yeah, so we're gonna do this Antico's order. Supposedly it's supposed to be pretty easy. I think, what was it again? It was like $13 for like, it's only one item too. That's nice. Yeah, $13 for, I think, was it like 2 miles? I forgot the mileage. Sometimes I'll be forgetting stuff so quickly. It'd be crazy. But yeah, so we're gonna do, like I said, this Antico's, and then we'll be right back at it. Alright, so the time right now is 4:57 p.m. Thursday, February 19th, 2026. And I just finished that Antico's pizza. And no, this is the chopped order. No, I didn't get tip for the hold on, let me go to my earnings. I gotta go here. I gotta go earnings here. Yeah, the Antico's order here at around. No, I finished this order around. Yeah, so that must have been the pickup time, because I finished this order around 4:35 ish or whatever. I think it was 4:35 or 4:38 or whatever. So I think, yeah, that 3:57 time is definitely wrong, because I finished it at, like I said, 4:38 or 4:35 or whatever from when I dropped it off. I definitely remember that. But it was only paying $13. Going, says 3.6 miles or whatever. So more than enough of what I want for a trip that I usually accept. And this customer was pretty cool. Nothing wrong at all. I also want to show you guys how I communicate with my customer, right? So if you guys remember, my customer's name was Renee. And usually whenever I get to the restaurant and then the order is not ready or whatever for pickup, I text them. I don't have a clipboard text, like a copy and paste. So every message I do send to my customers are typed out specifically to every customer. I don't, take shortcuts like that. Maybe I might or whatever, type a little script or whatever, because usually I do send the same message to every customer. But in this case, I haven't been doing that. So what I would say is, hey, Renee, just letting you know that I'm at Antico's waiting for your order, which is still being prepared. I don't know the wait time, but I'll keep you updated. And usually, after about like 10 minutes have passed, maybe 15 minutes have passed, I'll update the customer again and let them know that, if the customer if the restaurant came back to me and let me know that, that the order is going to be done in a few minutes or whatever, or something like that, or like, they're, just wrapping it up right now or whatever, and it's about to come out, I'll let the customer know after 10 or 15 minutes if the customer, like if the restaurant hasn't given me an update or whatever. But if they have, I'll still let the customer know that the restaurant gave me an update, and like I said, just coordinate like that. And then usually customers that do appreciate me respond like hello and okay, thank you so much for the update. Customers that appreciate me doing things like this will send simple messages like that with the enthusiasm just like this. Customers that don't really have that much enthusiasm and don't really appreciate the messages that I send them are kind of bland or whatever, and or they don't say anything at all. And then but this order actually didn't take very long, and I just say not a problem, your order just finished and I'm picking it up now and I'm on the way. And then the customer will be like, okay, thanks. But then, they'll show a lot of enthusiasm along the way of, just being appreciative that, you're taking care of them and you're keeping them up to date, and this is what I was talking about before in my other videos. I don't think I showed any of my, messages or whatever, but it's just simple things like this that, will help, the customer keep coming back, so you keep getting your money and stuff. Serving the customer, like I said, in the best way possible. Serving the customer, like I said, just customer service, just goes along the way. But that's that, and I gotta wait for my tip on there. Right now I'm doing Amazon, so I have 18 packages, and that's what I'm gonna go to pick up. Let me go back here. Well, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and pick up this Amazon route. This should be pretty simple. I do have to get some gas or whatever, but, like I said, should be pretty simple. And after that, I got to do another Amazon route around 8 p.m. or whatever. And then, I'll see how much money I've made for the day. And then with these Amazon routes, they're going to pay the next day, but then they're going to pay like 27 hours. So this Amazon route that I'm supposed to be doing now, it starts at 5 p.m. and it's supposed to end at 7 p.m. So then I'm supposed to be getting paid for this Whole Foods route around 10 p.m. tomorrow, right? And then my other Amazon route that's at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., it's another 2-hour route. I'll get paid from that route around 1 a.m. On what is it? Today is Thursday, so it'll be Friday. It'll be Saturday. Yeah, it'll be Saturday. It'll be Saturday. Saturday morning that I get paid from that. What do you call it? That Amazon route or whatever, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. because like I said, it's 27 hours after the fact. But yeah, that's how that kind of works. And I'm about to do this or whatever, get the money from here. That's going to pay me the next day or whatever. I don't really like it that much, but they don't have any package routes that are paying me the same day right now. So I have to do what I got to do. Yeah, but that's all I kind of wanted to keep you guys in the loop of, and just, share some information with you guys about, like I said, how I communicate with my customer, how my customers that appreciate me communicate back with me, versus the customers that don't really appreciate me and that I've been having problems with, that, supposedly seem to be the same consistent type of customer that I've been dealing with. But you know what? I forgive them, and I hope that they have a better day, and that they heal from whatever that they're going through, because that's what you do. You speak positivity. So whenever people are negative, you speak positivity. I'm not going to fight fire with fire and be negative because they're negative. That's dumb. But yeah, that's about how I face my problems usually. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys after I'm done with this Amazon trip. The time right now is 7:41 p.m. and it's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. As you guys can see, I'm now here for my Amazon block. Well, I'm actually here now for my second Amazon block that's supposed to start here at 8 p.m., but you get to check in 15 minutes early. I finished my Whole Foods block here. I wouldn't be here anymore. That's the other one. We'll be in the earnings now. But yeah, I finished. Yeah, this is the Whole Foods block here. So I'll get paid for this one. Like I said, it says Friday, but it's gonna happen Saturday, early Saturday morning. Like I said, 1 a.m. or on Saturday morning or whatever. That's usually when the tips for these trips usually happen. Like I said, because it's no, this is by 10 p.m. 10 p.m. But yeah, I actually, my bad, scratch that. So yeah, this is gonna happen actually by Friday around 10 p.m. on Friday. So that's tomorrow. Yeah, 10 p.m. Friday. And then this other block that I'm here for, that I'm doing right now, that's scheduled from it's scheduled to end at 10 p.m. but it starts at 8 p.m. is gonna pay on Saturday at 1 a.m. But also, what I want to show you guys is that trip, was it the Anticos that I had for that customer? It actually paid, actually got an $11 tip for that, and it was 3 miles. So that was pretty cool. Like I said, the base fare of the trips are $2. Pretty simple. So far, since I started Uber or whatever, I made $30 or whatever throughout that time. I don't know how. Let me see. So today, $30. I was online for 3 hours, but I wasn't like working for actually 3 hours. I don't know where. Yeah, it looks like I probably made everything within an hour. And so an hour and a half around there. Yeah, around an hour and a half it looks like between all these times here. I'll say thank you for that. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, okay, and I guess this increased here. You earn more for this trip because you got a wait time fee, I guess. I mean, I don't know what, 73 cents or whatever extra. So sad. Whatever, bro. Yeah, I record all my trips or whatever. It's a new thing that Uber allows us to do, is record. So they record both through your mic and through your camera, I think so, or it's just the mic, and then they record your screen. So they record the conversations when your phone is active on a trip or whatever, and then, you know, once you end the trip or whatever, then it ends the recording or whatever, as you know they say. I mean, you never know whenever they're not ever recording, but I mean, I do it just to protect myself from customers that seem to, like I said, there's a certain type of customer that I've bumped into multiple times that have tried to do something to me. Well, not like, I guess, affect me in a way where they could, you know, get me deactivated or whatever and stuff. Like I said, it's a certain type of customer. I'm not trying to be discriminative or whatever, but like I said before, I've served so many customers throughout, you know, me doing, let me see, I can show you guys actually my actual stats here. Here, you know, that's my picture there or whatever, but throughout my whole, you know, that's the rides. I don't put anybody in my car no more. I've had a few run-ins with, like I said, the same type of customer whenever they get into my car, every time. And I've just said, you know what, I'm gonna stop putting people in my car, because I'd rather just ride with the food, because the food doesn't talk to me or whatever, the food doesn't report me or whatever, you know, the food just wants to get delivered and probably ate by the customer or whatever, you know. So I'm like, you know what, let me just deliver the food hot and ready, you know what I'm saying, to the customer that's appreciative to me, hopefully, which then sometimes there be customers that's still not appreciative to me, and then yet again it still winds up to be the same typical customer that I seem to be bumping into for whatever reason. I don't understand why. But yeah, these are my stats right here. 4 years, 11 months with Uber or whatever. But like I said, I do more deliveries and I do rides. Like I stopped doing rides in my car or whatever, so it doesn't even show when I did my last ride. It doesn't show or whatever. But you know, that's my stats there, if that even matters or whatever. And you know, yeah, that's that for right now. I'm gonna check in. You just scan your ID or whatever. And then I'm going to do this trip or whatever. Hopefully they don't give me too many packages or whatever. Hopefully they don't take me too far out the area that I want to be in. And yeah, and then we're going to get this done. See if Uber and DoorDash has any more money for me or whatever. And, you know, finish out my day like that. The time right now is 10:46 p.m. and it's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. So I just finished that Amazon route that was from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. But I finished that around 9:56 or 9:57 p.m. or whatever, and then I had to run and go do something, whatever. But it brought me out to the, it brought me out actually to the Douglasville area. And there's not really much out here in Douglasville at all. So what I'm gonna do is possibly go to South Smyrna or whatever, and to see if they have anything out there, which I'm quite sure they probably don't. They usually don't ever. That's, like I said, every area is pretty much the same or whatever. It's the same shit. It doesn't matter. Whatever it says. If it says it's very busy with some shit, right? They're gonna try to sell you some shit. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But that's what I'm gonna do right now, because you know there is nothing else better to do. To try to see if I can make some money. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for now, and I'm gonna catch you guys back a little bit later to show you guys what I'm getting in the South Smyrna area. The time right now is 11:01 p.m. and it's Thursday, February 19th, 2026, and garbage. So I'm now in the South Smyrna area. As you can see, it's straight shit still hitting me on my screen. But I'm just entering like the lowest part of South Smyrna, because I was coming from like Douglasville, so the west, it's on the west side or whatever. So coming in from like the west area, it's gonna bring me down from like all the way from Douglasville, all the way through Lithia, kind of through Mableton in a way, and then up from South Smyrna, and then all the way up to, you know, Cumberland or whatever, and then Marietta or whatever. But right now, like I said, what I'm trying to show you guys is what's usually coming down the pipe or whatever. You know, at these times you guys see me drive during the daytime. I made a decent amount or whatever for a daytime run, I guess. I mean, it was an okay run. I don't know, like I said, I don't drive in the daytimes because of all the traffic, and the rates have to be paying me really, really good for real. But that was a little test run of what can be made during the daytime sometimes, and that's not all the time, that's only sometimes. I guess maybe because today is Thursday, there's some days of the week that you don't make money at all. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's cheaper to keep her, like as in keep your car inside, keep your car shut off, don't run it. You know, it's actually cheaper to keep it like that. You know, but other than that, you know, sometimes you can make the money, as you guys seen, you know, earlier today or whatever, in the early afternoons, which, like I said, I don't do very, very often at all. I haven't done that in a really long time at all. Like I said, I was working my lesson. This is garbage. But yeah, like I said, I'm going up South Smyrna is really kind of tricky or whatever. It doesn't really give me much. Exit 15, like South Cobb Drive or whatever. That's kind of where a lot of the orders usually come from. So I can maybe touch down over there, or whatever, and like see if there's anything out there at all. But this is straight garbage, and this is definitely on. Let me see. Where is that at? South Cobb Drive. What I say, it's gonna hit me with South Cobb Drive right there, as you guys can see in this little area right there, South Cobb Drive, and it's straight shit as usual. But like I said, all the orders nowadays are literally all the same, so it doesn't even matter what area you're going to. If you think you're gonna have better offers up in like Alpharetta or whatever, I've already done that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not even wasting my gas to even go all the way out to Alpharetta thinking that it's gonna pay me better. Like years ago, like way before COVID or whatever, or back in 2020, you know, the early part of 20, you know, when they, and then earlier 2021 or whatever, when they had, you know, all the COVID money and stuff like that, you know, that was a good time to be all over the place. It didn't matter where you were. That's just straight shit. It didn't matter where you were in Georgia. You could make money in the places that you didn't think that you could make money at, because there was so much freaking money injected into everywhere. That's straight garbage. $6 for 4 miles. That's straight shit. But yeah, you can make money anywhere. It didn't matter at all then. But now, you know, like I said before, the areas are showing their true colors. You know, they're showing what people actually have, you know, what people are actually willing to kind of pay. And it's sad, and it's really sad. It's really sad, you know, because it really affects, you know, your mental as a driver or whatever, thinking that, you know, you're gonna make enough to pay your bills, and you're like, oh shit, now I'm here with everybody else with my high expenses of, you know, gas and different other types of expenses that you have, you know, maintenance for your car and stuff like that, you know, putting money back for your taxes, you know, if you want to pay your taxes or whatever, you know, different types of expenses that you have that normal, you know, other people don't have, you know, because their job does the taxes for them or whatever, or, you know, the job actually, you know, takes away the taxes from their checks or whatever automatically, because it's based on their taxes being almost like pre-done in a way, and then you just have to kind of, you know, submit the forms, and then, you know, you get your money back if you know, kind of overpaid into your taxes or whatever for W-2 people. But 1099's a little bit different, where, you know, you have to add up all your expenses and, you know, do these subtractions and do these deductions or whatever, and then add this here, add this there or whatever, you know, all these things that you gotta do manually to kind of know how much taxes, you know, you are going to pay or whatever. You know, it's not simple and straightforward a lot of the times, you know, so sometimes it might be a little bit easier for people to work a W-2, but, you know, sometimes it's not really that hard to kind of do a 1099 or whatever. You know, there's certain platforms that actually, you know, it's so crazy that there's just wild coyotes just you just see random wild ass coyotes just freaking wandering around like dogs, like loose freaking, I don't know what dogs they look like, but, you know, they like just random dogs, and they just look at you like, what the fuck? I don't know. Yeah, like I said, so there's some platforms, like when I do my taxes, I use Free Tax USA, and it's an AI kind of made tax platform or whatever, and it makes everything super easy or whatever. The fees are super low. Like, it's not like any other tax form or going to any other tax agency or whatever when you're filing, and then you have to pay all these fees and shit. Like, no, the fees are super low. So if you guys want to check out Free Tax USA, they're not sponsoring me at all. This is not a sponsor, but just to help out people that want to do their own taxes, and, you know, they're paying a little bit too much, you know, doing their own taxes or whatever for whatever, you know, whatever platform that they've been using. Free Tax USA is a platform that I've been using for a few years now, that is actually way cheaper and way more convenient and stuff. Like I said, it has all the different lines of deductions and, you know, different rhetorics of, you know, whatever you need to use or whatever, different all the tax deductions that you could think of, it has it. And it's very, very simple. You can have extra help for filing your tax or whatever, if you choose to. Like, there's an actual person that can kind of walk you through. You know, you pay a little bit extra for that, but other than that, the fees for doing your taxes yourself are pretty low. Like, you don't have to pay that much. It's just straight shit. $3 for 6 miles. You know, like I said, I don't even know why you guys even order. What is the point of you guys even ordering if you guys don't even pay, even like try to kind of, you know, tip the driver or like show gratuity to the driver? You know, it's just, like I said, these videos are for bringing awareness. Like, this is showing, if you customers are ordering, this is showing me what you guys are giving me. You know what I'm saying? As a driver or whatever, or other drivers. This is you guys. This is me showing you what you guys are willing to give for us to sacrifice our time, our vehicles. You know, like I said, because there's a whole lot of bad drivers out here. So, you know, it's just like the, you know, like I said, sometimes it just goes a long way to say, you know, if you don't have the money to show gratuity to the driver to pick up your order and go through the loops and holes that, you know, you have to go through that you don't want to go through as a customer, like I said, just show some gratuity to your driver and stuff. You know, like, actually show that you appreciate somebody to actually want to do the work for you. You know, this is straight shit right here. No, this is a horrible dollar a mile. No. That's way too far. $21 for 21 miles. No, I'll do that for $40 or something like that. There's no way. No, I'd do that for $40. There's no questions asked. But, you know, I wish that we can kind of rebuttal against the rates and then submit our own rates. That would be pretty cool, but unfortunately the platforms don't allow us to do that at all. That would be a real contractor platform where we can, you know, rebuttal the rates, or kind of like contest against the rates or whatever in that manner. But like I said, they don't allow us to do that, to actually be a contractor. So we're like a contracting employee, which is super sad, you know. And it saves them money, but, you know, really they treat us like we're employees, but we're supposedly contractors. Like I said, it's for them to save money. The Uber and DoorDash to save money, not us as a driver to save money, because we still get taxed, you know, the same, you know, and even more because we have expenses and shit. So, you know, but that's here nor there, you know. It is what it is. But yeah, you know, but like I said, you know, just and like I said, sometimes it's not even a customer that's doing it. You know, sometimes it's the apps that's, you know, taking away money and freaking, you know, making it seem like it is the customer that's not willing to pay. But sometimes, like I said, it is the customer that's, you know, that doesn't have the money to actually be ordering, and they're out here ordering. And I'm like, you know, like I said before, hopefully whenever robots come around and, you know, like shit like this is straight shit, right? And there's no way I'm going to Taco Mac to do an order like that, because first of all, if anybody does pick up from Taco Mac, everybody knows that Taco Mac has extremely long wait times. A lot of times the food is not ready. It's just straight shit right here. Who's gonna do that? Like, no. But Taco Mac usually has extremely long wait times or whatever. And like I said, I don't even work for $4. Sometimes you just have to imagine somebody putting 4 smackaroos in your hand and like just patting you on the back and saying, "Good job, bucko. Good job. Keep those wheels spinning. I need you to keep those wheels spinning and keep that engine revving. You know, you're doing a real good job. Thank you for your service, comrade." You know, just for 4 smackaroos, you know? 4 schmeckles. Yeah, like that, like, you'd be literally kind of working to just put gas in your car. Gas is still on the brink of sometimes being around, this is straight shit right here, $10 for 19 miles. No. But like I said, you're basically working to kind of put gas in your car or whatever. Gas is on the brink of still being $3 or whatever, so you can kind of put a gallon of gas in your car with those 4 smackaroos, and be on your way to get another $4 to put another 4 smackaroos back into your gas tank or whatever, or put $1 into your savings, if that's how you want to do it. But you don't make any money by doing that at all. Like, you really just don't make any money by doing shit like that. Literally, you just don't make any money. You're literally just spinning your wheels just to drive. Like that, it just doesn't account for your time, your maintenance, all that stuff like that. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like I said, an employee wouldn't work for $4 an hour. Like, even though that order might not take an hour, but it might take 20 or 30 minutes sometimes. Like I said, because the wait times at certain places are pretty long. So in the long run, if you do 2 $4 orders, you're only gonna make $8 in that hour. That's before expenses and shit like that, right? Like I said, it doesn't make any sense of why you would potentially accept something like that. In my opinion, it just doesn't make mathematical sense as a business to accept prices that low. I get it, you're probably trying to do a good citizen thing for the people, but the people aren't trying to help you at all. Like I said, if you don't have that straight shit, if you don't have the money to kind of be ordering, this is straight shit, then you don't need to be ordering. You need to actually be ordering to pick up your own order and not ordering for delivery. Like I said, you can pay the delivery fee that Uber and DoorDash charge you as a customer, but that doesn't entitle you for your order to be delivered to you unless it's by a robot. Like I said, because the robot doesn't have expenses. So until customers realize this, unfortunately, your order will not get picked up. This is actually pretty simple right here. I would not mind that at all. Finally, god damn, you guys actually want to get this shit together now. Like, it took you that long for you to realize that I want to get paid a little bit more or fairly. I swear, man, I don't know, like, sometimes these gamifications of rates are just straight garbage, bro. And they'll take you through the ringer of keep on lowballing you and lowballing you and lowballing you, and then they'll send a good order after a while, and then sometimes that good order that you get or whatever, you're so excited to actually get it. Once you get there, you figure out that, oh shit, that order's actually been picked up or whatever, because that good order was already stolen. And it's sad stuff like that, bro. It's really sad stuff like that. But hopefully the order that I'm picking up right now isn't stolen, and that I didn't have to decline all those shitty orders for this one order to be stolen, because they do be stealing orders from McDonald's all the time. McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wingstop. I just had an order that was recently stolen from Wingstop, and thought that it was a good order back in it, and I'm like, okay, cool. But in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my god, this is Wingstop. Every time that you get a good order from Wingstop, guess what? It's fucking stolen. And guess what? Like a dummy, I go up there to say, hey, I'm here to pick up for so-and-so. And guess what the fuck it is? Stolen. So like I said, there's certain places that you just know. Like I said, and I stopped picking up from Popeyes. I haven't picked up from Popeyes in I don't even know how long. It's been super long. But there's certain places I blacklisted that I don't even pick up from no more. Like I said, because I ran into the same problems over and over and over again. Like I said, I think that the apps need to come up with some type of new algorithm to kind of like just deactivate the people that keep on stealing the orders. Like they know clearly who is stealing the orders, because it's not that hard. The person who first got the order that was supposed to pick it up, usually they stole the shit. Like, it's that simple. And then when you get on the phone to report that the order was stolen or whatever, the customer services, especially at Uber, will be like, oh, maybe they accidentally pressed cancel. And I'm like, no, these people did not accidentally press cancel. They know what the fuck confirmed pickup is. It's not that hard. The app is super fucking simple and laid out for us to know exactly how to. You have to go through multiple hoops to cancel the order before you confirm the pickup. Like, it's, how do you accidentally cancel the pickup, bro? You don't accidentally you can't accidentally cancel it. You purposely do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, you didn't. No. I don't know, bro. And sometimes it's like they're enabling these people to keep on doing the shit and affecting our money. So, like I said, it's just dumb shit like that, honestly, bro. But like I said, I'm about to try to go and pick up this order or whatever. Let me see if the inside is open real quick. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm gonna check and see or whatever and try to pick up this order, and then I'll get back with you guys a little later. Alright, the time right now is 11:44 p.m. It's Thursday, February 19th, 2026. I just finished delivering that, what do you call it? The McDonald's order. Oh, excuse me. That McDonald's order, here. Yeah, it says 11:16, but I just finished delivering it. So I must have picked up the order. That must be like the pickup times at the top, because yeah, like I said, I just finished delivering this at like 11:41. That's trash. But yeah, that's the order there or whatever, and paid $11 to go 3 miles. So really decent paying order. Don't have no problems with it. It's pretty simple to pick up. Wasn't too much of a wait time at all. Except, let me see, because I didn't even look at the time that it took to actually do that. 24 minutes. So theoretically, I could do 2 of those orders in about an hour, possibly, and make $22 an hour, which is pretty sad. This is straight shit right there, but it is what it is, right? You know. But yeah, so we're gonna be in the South Smyrna area right now. Straight shit. Let's close all these tabs out. And yeah, so I'm gonna be around the South Smyrna area for a little bit, and then I might transfer out to a different part of Atlantis. And then, yeah, we'll just see how much we can make for the night or whatever. I might do another Amazon trip possibly later, because Amazon is paying a little bit more. Like I said, Amazon is usually my main money. Usually, you know, it's not Uber and DoorDash. You know, as you can see, they don't pay me that much at all. You know, if they even try to pay me at all, they don't pay me at all. So, you know, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do Uber and DoorDash. I think this is the wrong side of the circle. Yeah, this is the wrong side. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any other type of money, and I'll get back to you guys later. Time right now is 12:23 a.m. and it's now Friday, February 20th, 2026. And I just did a DoorDash order or whatever that was taking me out here to Atlanta. And the rate that it was paying, let me just go back over here to see. Yeah, it was $11.85. It was saying it was for like 11.4 miles, but we only went 11.2. It's $1 a mile. It was just to relocate because there was nothing out in the South Smyrna area, so I had to relocate to, you know, see if there was any orders out here. And I only do that whenever I'm getting paid, so I'm like, you know what, I'll take $1 a mile to relocate to a new area as long as it's gonna pay me, right? So I definitely vouch for people to do that, you know, rather than going on your own gas and not getting paid to do the work. That's trash. You know, do at least $1 a mile or something like that. But if it's less than $1 a mile, that's even worse. I won't do anything for less than $1 a mile to transfer. I'd rather do it for free if I'm doing it for less than $1 a mile. Because that is basically for free. You're doing it for pennies now. You know, you're not even doing it for a whole dollar. You're doing it for pennies. Checkers, I already know that's a shit offer. That's shit. What I say? Shit offer. I already knew it. Straight shit. Shit offer. Another one. And we're gonna go over here. I don't do GoPuff anymore because those orders are always stolen. Every time, bro. Every time. So I don't even play. Like I said, there's a lot of places that I've blacklisted that I don't even look at anymore. Like, it doesn't even matter how much they're paying me. I've been in too many run-ins with certain orders being stolen from certain places, and one of those places every time that's trash. It's GoPuff every single time. Every time. Insomnia cookies, that's gonna take me to Stone Mountain. I don't want to do that right now. That's gonna take me way out the zone. I'm trying to stay in the Midtown area right now. I'm not trying to travel all over the world right now. So keep me out here in Atlantis. Trash. I just transferred out here. Wendy's and Papa John's at the same time. I don't know, man. I don't know. The Wendy's orders are whammies for real. Like, I don't know. So I like the rate though. But it'd be Wendy's for real that'd be like fucking you up for real. Like the orders from there either be stolen or they don't have it in their system every time. The Papa John's is cool, but you know, they be having the Papa John's orders, but Wendy's, I've had way too many run-ins with the Wendy's orders. So, and then like I said, I hate when they freaking pair the shits together with other people with orders that I don't usually take, and I'm like, why would you guys do that, bro? But I already know why they would do that. But like I said, I'm not going for it right now. So, you know, they can find themselves another driver to take that order. I hope that this is trash. I hope that they can find somebody that's willing to do that. I'm not willing to take that sacrifice or that loss right now. You know, knowing that order was possibly stolen, which it always has a high likelihood that it is stolen from Wendy's every time. Every time. So, right now, we are just cruising down the city or whatever. It looks, I'm not going to do it for that price there because you guys are sharing out orders right now, so you guys are willing to pay something. So I will do it when you guys start to pay. But yeah, you guys are starting to show that you guys want to pay me, so let's show me the money. Let's pay. Let's go. I'm ready to play. Let's pay to play, buddy. Let's pay to play. It's kind of, everybody's kind of, oh, you know what? Well, it is a Friday, early, like a late Thursday night, early Friday morning or whatever. So, I guess everybody's out right now or whatever again. Remember how I was saying that, you know, everybody likes to party every weekend or whatever? I said, but honestly, it's business. Everybody has to, you know, well, the businesses have to make money, and then, you know, the people want to mingle and stuff like that. So, you know, I guess maybe people like to take their chances every weekend and like to see who they can mingle with or whatever. You know, you never know. But, you know, I guess that's the only thing that kind of maybe makes sense to me. What the? No, I'm not doing that right now. And I'm not doing that right now. But yeah, it's a pretty busy Popeyes. Yep, this is gonna be a no. Like I said, and then they're trying to shove it in my face again, brother. I just told you no. No means no. I don't know what part of no means no. Don't you understand? Like, this is how you catch a case, buddy. Like, you catch cases when you try to force things onto people. When I say no, I say no. That does not mean yes. No does not mean yes. I don't know what part of the program you didn't understand when I clicked no. I clicked X. I said no. That means no. Don't try to shove it in my face again to think again. No, I don't care what the rate is, brother. I just told you I don't do Popeyes because I know that the shit is stolen. That's why you're trying to give it to me. Like, I'm not a fool. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna see. Like I said, they're shoving orders in my face right now, so they're trying to pay. So we can probably make some money tonight, but you know, we gotta just see whatever they wanna possibly give to me, you know. Interesting. I don't know what type of slammed Genesis that was, but pretty slammed. $13 for 20 miles. Decline, my boy, decline. Super sad. Yeah, that's what I made so far, whatever. So 20. Oh, they be selling the shits from this restaurant too, bro. They be selling the shit from here too. But you know what? I like it anyway. I like it. It's paying what I would normally like, and it's gonna keep me in my area of Atlantis. So we're gonna do that. This is a no-no from Zaxby's. What we're gonna do, so they're trying to definitely pay right now for whatever reason. And you remember how I was telling you guys that they pick and choose the random days that they want to pay you, and just like I said, now look, they're trying to pay me on a random day when they could have been paying me other days, but they choose to pay me today. And there's nothing going on today, no events, no nothing. It's just a regular late Thursday night, early Friday morning. Nothing's extraordinary happening, but they want to pay now. Like I said, they pick and choose the days. And I'm like, bro, my bills are due every single day of the month. Not every day of the month, but like every month I have bills due. And then you want to pick one day of every 4 weeks to try and pay me. And I'm like, bro, I need money almost every day of the week. That would make my life so much easier, you know, rather than you choosing to only pay me one day out of the week. You know, like, pay me good one day out of the week, and I make that money for a bill, and then the rest of the week I'm struggling to pick up where I need to, you know, make money for my other bills. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So I don't know if anybody else is, you know, dealing with that, you know, same thing where it's like they choose to pay you on certain days or whatever, and then the days that, you know, you need money for other bills, you can't make money for the other bills because they don't want to pay you no money. I'm like, bruh, come on, man. Like, for real, come on, you're playing with me now. But that's just how my life goes, I guess, nowadays. On these shitty apps, you know, that's how it is. But yeah, I'm gonna see if they have this order here at Stoner's Pizza. Usually they don't because it's usually stolen, but hopefully they do. Because I want to get paid. I do want to get paid. So, and I don't want to get played. So I'm gonna see if we had this order here at Stoner's, and I'll get back to you guys later. The time right now is 12:57 a.m. and it's Friday, February 20th, 2026. Whoop. I don't know why I just turned off my mobile data. But I just finished doing that Stoner's Pizza order. I actually got to pick it up. They actually, you know, one of our comrades here at Uber or wherever didn't steal the order this time. You know, I'm super happy about that. $25 for 9 miles. That's like $2 and some change of miles or whatever, something like that. But now I'm headed to actually pick up a Taco Bell order. I'm taking a chance now. This Taco Bell order is actually paying me really good. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You know, everything. You know, this is paying $23 going 8 miles. So still, like I said, almost close to $3 a mile or whatever. It's $2 and some change in miles or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? This is what I like. I like orders like this right here. It doesn't take me too far out, but even if it does, it's paying me enough to kind of do that pivot. You know what I'm saying? Like $2 a mile pays for, you know, me to, you know, pick up the order, go take it to the customer, and then kind of come back to my area. It pays for that. So I'm like, you know, I'm cool with that. And like I said, some of these orders are like almost $3 a mile. So I'm like, you know what? For sure, it definitely does pay for that. So I'm like, I kind of really don't care. You know, at that point, I'm like, pay me. That's all I ask for is just pay me, and the work will get done for you. You know, I will make sure that, you know, you're taken care of. That's my my job. Well, that's what I will uphold as a part of my job. Not everybody's good at their job. Not everybody has the integrity, you know, of doing the job correctly, and, you know, even doing the job in general. That's how you get people that are stealing orders or whatever. And, you know, you have customers that don't get their food because their order's been stolen. And, you know, it's sad when you have to contact the customer, let them know, and then the customer's like, oh, I've been waiting like 3 hours for this order or whatever. It's been in the system for this long, and, you know, come to find out, well, somebody stole your order or whatever, you know. So I don't know. I don't wish that on anybody. You know, that's why, you know, I try my best to communicate with my customer and let them know about, you know, whatever's going on with the order or whatever, you know. And like I said, the people that I serve are paying me. So, you know, like I said, that just comes with my service, is the fact that I'm going to communicate with you. That's just standard to me, you know. I'm like, but even then, you know, just the standard of customer service, of serving the customers that you choose to serve, you still should communicate with them, and, you know, just try to make them feel like they're wanted, appreciate them for paying for the service, because this puts food on your table. This, you know, takes care of your bills. You know, this customer contributed to your life pretty much, you know, because this is the customer's money, you know. So like I said, treat the customer like they're wanted, treat the customer like they're needed pretty much. I mean, because they are. If we don't have any customers, then guess what? There is no money to circulate. So like I said, it's just simple stuff like that just goes a long way of, you know, appreciation on both sides. You know, as the business, appreciate the customer, and then the customer should appreciate the business, as long as the business is taking care of the customer. But like I said, it's a vice versa, where both people need to be taking care of each other, you know, and showing appreciation, you know, especially like this line of work where like you kind of rely on tips to kind of make your money. Unfortunately, that's what it's like even in the even in like the service industry, like being a server or a waiter or something like that. You know, you rely on tips, unfortunately, because the business doesn't want to pay you any money. You know, they pay you a base rate of, you know, like, was it like $4 or something like that, but you make your money off of tips. So, you know, like I said, it's just, if your server, your waiter is showing you courtesy and taking care of you and stuff like that, just show the courtesy back of, you know, tipping the waiter, tipping their server, you know, tipping the host or whatever, you know, like, just show that same courtesy back, because unfortunately in this industry we don't honestly make the best type of money or whatever, and unfortunately, like, there is no way around it. You know, we have to kind of rely on the customer a lot more or whatever, which is, like I say, it's not fair, but unfortunately that's how the structure is. Yeah, I'm about to see if I can pick up this order. Let me see if I can real quick. You don't have any orders in your system for Uber?
No.
No, you don't? Okay, no problem. Thank you then. Alright, and then guess what? It's stuff like that where, like I said before, they don't have shit in their system. So, you know, I don't know if you guys picked up on the mic where, you know, they just said that they don't have it in their system. And it be orders like this that's like paying good as hell, and then, you know, you get there, like I said, it's either stolen or they don't have it in their system. You know, it's not ready yet or whatever. It's gonna take a long ass wait time, but you know, it's always some shit. So right now I'm about to go ahead and contact the customer and let them know what is going on, because I'm quite sure they've been waiting for a while or whatever. And, you know, let them know what the issue is yet again. And, you know, contact Uber support to let them know that Taco Bell just told me that they didn't get their order or whatever, and then, you know, get the customer refunded. But yeah, like I said, you know, these things do happen, and they happen at the worst moments where I think I'm gonna do good, and then boom. But you know what? I'm not gonna give up, and I think that I'm gonna still be getting paid well, because they are trying to pay me finally. Out of all the days of the month, they're trying to pay me today. So I'm gonna try to take advantage of as much money as I can, trying to serve as much customers as I can, the best way that I can, and try to make as much money as I can. So yeah, that's about all. Let me contact this customer and I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. The time right now is 1:46 a.m. and it's February 20th. It's Friday, 2026. Right now I have the choice of being in Midtown or being in Buckhead, and Buckhead is looking really, really nice, seeing that for some reason they're paying $4 per order. So what I'm gonna do is schedule myself to be out there. I guess it's only giving me till 2:30 a.m. I guess that's all I need to get an order out there or whatever. I don't know how good they're actually paying, but you know, they're saying that they're paying $4 per order, so we're gonna see what they're actually paying out there. Time right now is 2:03 a.m. It's Friday, February 20th, 2026. Currently in the Buckhead area, as you guys can see. If I just zoom in like that, as you guys can see, there's my dot right there, and there's one of the hot spots. Trash. Says that I'm, you know, supposed to be getting the plus $4. You know, as you guys can see right here, $3 and then $1. That equals $4 for peak pay, right? But you know, it looks like nobody wants to order out here where there's supposedly peak pay at. You know, I don't know why they would put peak pay out if there is nobody peaking. I don't understand. I'm about to turn around. Other side. This is all the way down there in Atlanta. I'm not even in. I'm in Buckhead right now. So we're gonna decline that right there. We're gonna decline that right there. I think that McDonald's right there was busy right now, so. Nancy's Taqueria, whatever it is. We could do that. That's $2 a mile there. That's fine. I'm not doing anything else right now, so you know, whatever. But yeah, I haven't got any DoorDash orders or whatever since I've been in the Buckhead area, which I forgot what time I did arrive here, but I've been driving around for a little while and hasn't been any DoorDash orders or whatever. So like I said, I don't know what they're what the peak pay is there for if there is no orders. Like, it's busy doing nothing. How are you busy doing nothing? That doesn't make any sense to me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shut you off, because you know you're not doing nothing, and it's actually dead. What do you know? Look at that. It's actually dead. Nothing happened because it's actually dead. Like, They be just playing with you, bro. Every time they just be playing with you. Be annoying sometimes, bro. But, you know, we're going to go on ahead and make this money or whatever. In a little bit, I have this Amazon block that's paying really, really good, actually. Starting at, what is it? Schedule. It starts, today's the 20th. 4:15 a.m. till 6:15 a.m. and it's paying $60 base fare. That's before tips. $60 base fare for 2 hours. So that's automatically $30 an hour, right? For, you know, like it's 2 hours, $60 divided by 2. That's $30 an hour or whatever, right? But that's before tips. A lot of times with these blocks paying like that base fare or whatever, you're usually not going to get any tips or whatever. But if so, I mean, I'm all welcome to it. You know, if they want to pay me extra money, you know, I won't say no to that. But blocks like these rarely ever exist, like ever exist. Right now they're starting to pay for whatever reason, I don't know. But I got that at 4 a.m. I'll have to wait later for other blocks because they're not paying that good. If I can show you guys, they're not paying that good for any of the other blocks at all. Seeing the offers. Today's the 20th. You guys can see some of these are just base fare, base fare, base fare, base fare, and those are all far away. Like, I'm like, no, Alpharetta, that's too far away. Doraville, that's a little far away. That's all base fare. These are all base fare here. These are all base fare. This is all base fare, base fare, base fare, base fare, base fare. All the 30s for 2 hours, those are all base fare. I don't really try to do base fare really. So like I think I've said this before, but it's all base fare. So what I have to do is I have to wait till later on to get the better paying orders or whatever. Like I said, that's the trick with Amazon. They treat their offers like bids, so you have to wait until they bid higher, and you'll get a better offer. So, you know, if you know how to use Amazon or whatever, you know, you'll know that, you know, if you wait long enough, you'll probably get a better offer later on in the day. So I've already gotten a good offer right now, so I have to wait later in the day to get a better offer. You know, just keep checking back, keep refreshing my screen or whatever, and then I'll see if they got anything else paying better. But if not, then it's just I just probably won't do the work for them right now. Like I said, I don't really try to work for base fare at all. Because yeah, for those $30 for 2 hours, that's $15 an hour, which is pretty trashy. That's actually below base fare actually out here in Atlanta, because base fare is supposed to be at 18 usually $18 an hour, so they're below the amount. But I guess that's what they're doing now. Like I said, they're bidding pretty low when they can bid way higher. It's Amazon, so you know they have the money for it usually. Yeah, like I said, that's how I get my money from Amazon. I wait until later to see what type of money that they got for me, which they usually do. If not, like I said, I won't work for them. Just like how I do with DoorDash and Uber, where if they don't got the money for them, well, I won't work with them because they don't have the money for me. So, you know, I'll try to switch in between apps or whatever and see if they do have anything for me. But like I said, if they don't have anything for me, sometimes it's cheaper to keep her home, you know, cheaper cheaper to keep your car parked and safe from the bad drivers out here. You know, using less gas, less wear and tear. You know, it's cheaper to keep her home. You know, so I guess just remember that. You know, if there's no money, it's cheaper to keep her. You know, so yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and pick up this order, and I'll get back to you guys later. The time right now is 3:44 a.m. and it's Friday, February 20th, 2026. Just showing you guys what I have today. It's my, I think it's gonna be the last thing I do today because I've been driving for, I think since 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Yeah, the 19th. I think I've been driving since, I don't remember when, but yeah. I mean, I'll probably check back in this video, or if you guys figured it out, but I've been driving since early afternoon yesterday. And you guys seen how much I pretty much made, and just keep you guys up to date with how my day was going. I'm pretty tired now, but that's how my day went. So right now I'm doing this trip that I scheduled right here from 4:15 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. It's supposed to be for 2 hours or whatever, paying $60, but I won't get paid from this trip till Saturday around 9 a.m. because, like I said, these are the trips that are food orders that get paid 27 hours after the route is finished. So, you know, 24 hours would be Saturday at 6:15, and then 27 hours would be Saturday at 9:15 a.m. and that's when, like I said, that's when I would get paid from this route specifically. So I mean, it's a good paying route, you know. Hopefully it's not much to it, but usually whenever they do be paying good, sometimes they be like throwing some shit at you. Hopefully they don't give me too much for real, or like send me too far out. You know, hopefully, but you know, it is what it is. I'll get it done and get the money. But yeah, I did do, let me see. I did do, oh wow, where are all these tips coming from? McDonald's. Okay. Oh shit, look at that. I actually earned $1 extra for this. That's cool. Thank you, buddy. $7 tip from this. That's pretty cool. Oh shit, damn. Thank you for that. And then there's the $2 tip here on this one. I guess they paid $8 for it, so they actually gave me a hard time though. So, you know, but I'm gonna still say thank you for the tip, buddy, because, you know, they didn't have to do it. But yeah. But that's all my tips for today. I made another $47. So on a day today, well, it was yesterday, and then some of today. So in total, I made around $77 or something like that. So, you know, I guess that's cool. Let me see. Yeah, so, yep, $77.29. That's what we made on the day, buddy. And yeah, it was a pretty long day. Said it was between Uber, DoorDash. Well, we actually made more, but we didn't do much DoorDash at all. I had to spend the money on some stuff earlier, but The 16th. No, today's the 20th. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the 19th. When did we do this? Zaxby's and Wingstop. We did this yesterday or today? Shit, which? I don't know. I think that, yeah, we did this, yeah, the 18th instead. Because I was like, I didn't pick up Wingstop, Zaxby's and Wingstop, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was the 19th, so I didn't pick up Wingstop and Zaxby's yesterday. From what I remember. I don't even remember for real, but I know this order is the Taco Mac that I was telling you guys about I did. It's $1 a mile or whatever. I transferred from it was South Smyrna down to Atlanta because I was like, South Smyrna didn't have no money out there or whatever, so I decided to do that. And like I said, I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did this on the 18th instead. Yeah, and I'm saying the 19th, but I don't know. Yeah, so we made, I guess, $11 and some change on DoorDash. So maybe 80 something dollars between DoorDash and Scroober. And Amazon, like I said, all the money from Amazon isn't gonna be paid till the next day. So we did this one from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here. This one was the Whole Foods. This isn't gonna be paid till later today at around 10 p.m. And then this one right here, this food block that we had, isn't gonna be paid until not today, it's Saturday. No. Yeah, Saturday around 1 a.m. right here. So yeah, so I got a little bit of a while to wait, and then the block that I'm about to do now from 4:15 to 6:15 isn't gonna be paid until Saturday around 9 a.m. So I'll have some money coming in or whatever from different things, but you know, it's kind of a struggle to make the money or whatever because it's really slow. You have to be meticulous on where you're stationed at and where you're positioned at and when they want to pay you or whatever. And sometimes your days are long as shit for real. And a lot of times it's like it's not really worth it for real because it's like you're doing still more work than you're making money a lot of times, and then you're expensing out more money because of all the driving and, you know, repositioning yourself to try to make the money or whatever. So a lot of times it could just be very tiring, and you can kind of question if it's even worth it at all, which a lot of times I honestly don't think that it's worth it at all, especially nowadays, seeing that, you know, the money is the way that it is right now, and, you know, the fact that, you know, you have expenses that continuously are increasing, like insurance and, you know, vehicle parts and stuff like that, due to, you know, tariffs or whatever. That shit's increasing. You know, just trying to keep your expenses low, but unfortunately, because the money is so hard to make, you're having to increase your expenses by doing more work than what they're paying. So like I said, it's just a cycle of just of like almost losing to win in a way, but like you're gonna lose more than you're gonna win, it seems like nowadays from what I'm experiencing. Right now I'm just declining all the trash that's on my screen that I would not even take it all. I'm just declining all the trash right now, so I just gotta see what's all garbage and, I just decline so it doesn't ever hit my screen ever again. I hate it when trash hits my screen. So sometimes this is garbage here. That's too low of a rate. Oh wait, hold on. What is this right here? $50 for 2.5 hours. No, because we could do that for a straight 2 hours. But that's in Duluth. That's a little too far. That's a little too far. I rarely ever be in Duluth, so I don't ever be doing like the Duluth trips at all, because Duluth is kind of far. They have to be paying a little bit like up to standard for me to want to do this, but this right here I can possibly do. Somebody already has that. Usually the trips from the Lithia Springs location, usually those trips be paying really good. And then a lot of times they'll be super easy or whatever, and not much packages for that price. But usually people be having those blocks already locked down. So as you guys can see, like I think I called them phantom blocks from one of my earlier videos that I recorded. I don't know how many months ago I did those videos, but I did those videos like multiple months ago, so I think maybe over a year ago, where there's a lot of, Amazon sends out a lot of phantom blocks, like where, they'll show you, the good paying blocks, but they actually don't exist at all because somebody already has them scheduled, but then they want to still put them in the queue for whatever reason. I'm just like, I don't know why they do that. That's weird. Yeah, so I'm just, like I said, just declining all the trash, getting all the trash out, because they don't usually really raise the rates on those really high at all. So we'll see what they do with the all the other trips, and we'll go about it like that. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna finish out my day, with doing Amazon here for the last 2 hours. Possibly go to sleep for a little bit, and do whatever else I gotta do for the day. But yeah, that's how you guys seen some of my longest days have been, and how trashy it'll be, just going from earlier in the afternoon or earlier in the day to late at night, as you guys can see, because it's 3:56 a.m. So it's the next day now that I'm recording this video now. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna finish on my day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.